Coming from Eros Park, this is Primetime News, last edition of the week. A good evening to you. I'm Michael Madimba. If it's your first time joining us, do subscribe, hit the like button, and be sure to click the bell icon to stay posted on the latest happenings locally and globally. We begin tonight's bulletin with the 35th COVID-19 public briefing. The head of state, Dr. Hage Geingob, today announced that Namibia has lifted the COVID-19 imposed curfew and further relaxed a host of restrictions brought about by the pandemic as transmissions have fallen. More from State House.
The following regulations will come into force for a period of 30 days from Saturday, from 16th October 2021 until midnight Monday, 15 November 2021. 1. Public gatherings as defined in the regulations have been adjusted to 200 persons per event. Spectators at sporting events are permitted up to 200 persons per event. Having just returned from the United States and also watching my football matches on TV, the stadia are packed, but they are packed with people who have their passports, vaccination passports. They all have to show that. Even when you are entering the shops, you will be asked to show their passport, vaccination passport. So we are saying, yes, we relax these measures, but it will be good that people can carry vaccination passports. 2, the curfew will be suspended altogether, allowing for greater economic activity, particularly with respect to long-haul public transport operators and the entertainment industry. 3, restrictions related to liquor remain as is.
Still on COVID-19 matters. While the national COVID-19 vaccination program continues to make progress, Namibia is still falling short of its projected target, with the country only managing to fully vaccinate 14% of its eligible population.
The national COVID-19 vaccination program continues to make progress. However, the uptake falls short of the projected targets in terms of where we want to be. While the country target is to vaccinate 750,000 persons of the 1,501,041 persons targeted for vaccinations by the 13th of October 2021, only 288,692 or 19.2% people have so far received the first dose of vaccination, and 213,294 persons, or 14.2%, are fully vaccinated. This we would like to compare with the regional average, where we have, for example, by the 13th of October, South Africa has fully vaccinated 16.51% of the population, while Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Zambia have vaccinated 16.3%, 10.4%, and 1.6% respectively. The government and stakeholders regularly review and monitor the vaccination data and performance. The slow uptake for vaccination triggered several interventions to move Namibia closer to achieving its target.
The Namibian Correctional Services Commissioner, Sam Shalulange, has appealed to the public to refrain from assisting inmates smuggle contraband or illicit items into prison. Erasmus Shalihakwe compiled this insert for us.
Of these articles into correctional facilities. The following incidents recorded as of January to 30th of September 2021 are indicative of the scope of the problems faced by the Namibian Correctional Service. When we talk of mobile phones, we already had 145 incidents so far. When we talk of drugs, we have 65 incidents. And tobacco, 118 incidents. Mostly from this facility, the Windhoek Correctional Facility, followed by the Hardap Correctional Facility, and then the other smaller incidents at other facilities. So I think we can all agree that it is a concern if at this stage we already have so much incidents of this nature.
First Lady Monica Geingoss on Thursday pleaded with the private sector to help the Namibian government in its campaign to ensure the country reaches its herd immunity target. Matthias Hamunyela compiled this report.
The First Lady was speaking at the Trusco vaccination site during her tour to familiarize herself with the different COVID-19 vaccine centers in Windhoek.
So the purpose of the visit is really to support everybody who is hosting the Ministry of Health in the vaccination campaign for the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health has done an exceptional job with an exceptional staff complement, but they cannot do it alone. We must all do our part. And what Trusco has done today, I've seen other private sector organizations also doing it, and I'm available to be present at any vaccination campaign that is being done in conjunction with the Ministry of Health, because I really feel all of us must do whatever little we can to make sure that we avert as many future deaths from COVID by having as many Namibians vaccinated as possible.
Salima Shumwefeleni reporting for Nampa News.
Stand by for your top roundup. In the business and economic segment tonight, we commence by touching base with the diamond sector. NAMDEB has announced that it has approved its long-term business plan starting from 2022 to 2042 and is expected to generate approximately 40 billion Namibian dollars over 20 years.
Minister of Mines and Energy Tom Alwendo announced this on Thursday during a media briefing in the capital. He said, "The plan was drawn up after government, NAMDEB and De Beers Group realized that the previous plan ending in 2022 is not economically sustainable and could lead to a loss of employment.
The royalty granted enables capital to be invested in the operations that will support a life of mine extension up to 20 years. Hopefully more than that, Rian, after that, when you find another risk. But for now, it's up to 20 years. For NAMDEB's land-based operation. The royalty remission granted further delivers substantial long-term economic benefits for Namibia, continuity of employment, and benefits for community partners. It will also allow NAMDEB to develop an economically sustainable business plan that lengthens the life of mine for, as I say, for another 20 years.
Speaking at the same occasion, De Beers Group Chief Executive Officer Bruce Cleaver said under the new business plan, NAMDEB will have the ability to invest its profit to extend its mining operation.
So the net result of this arrangement is that a significant improvement in the long-term fiscal contribution to Namibia will come from NAMDEB, with the full contribution, as you heard from Rian, of the new business plan to Namibia by way of additional taxes, and royalties in particular, and dividends, will be something like 40 billion Namibian dollars. Really importantly, the 2,100 jobs Rian spoke about will be maintained, and really excitingly, another 600 jobs will be created. A fantastic achievement, I know you'll agree.
NAMDEB Chief Executive Officer Rian Berger, who also spoke at the same occasion, said the plan supports the economic transformation of the KRS region, and in particular the town of Oranjemund, by providing an extended period.
SWAPO politician Chekero Tweya is sick and tired of seeing Namibians benefiting little or nothing from the country's opulent natural resources. Edward Mumbu Jr. filed the story.
The chairperson of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Natural Resources vented his frustrations during a public hearing with the Ministry of Mines and Energy on Tuesday on a petition opposing the oil and gas exploration activities of Recon Africa in the two Kavango regions. For Tweya, the fact that Recon Africa owns 90% of the project, while the Namibian government through the National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia, NAMCOR, owns 10% does not make sense. More so, the politician added that should oil be discovered, the status quo, which has seen the two Kavango regions ranked as Namibia's poverty capitals, cannot continue. The former cabinet minister added that it is time for investors to come on Namibia's turf on the country's terms. A rather combative Tweya made one thing clear to investors and the Mines and Energy Ministry. This committee is not interested in being told, yes, that is the law. He stressed they are lawmakers and they are ready to fix that so that this resource does not become a curse like in any other country, but a blessing. Salima Shumwefeleni reporting for Nampa News.
That's all from me, Michael Madimba. Your sports news will follow after the economics roundup and the weather update.
Good evening and welcome to this week's last edition of Sport Planet. I'm Joy Gosses. We begin with bowling. After successfully hosting its Champion of Champions tournament that saw the cream of the crop in Namibian bowling locking horns, the Namibian Bowling Association will this weekend host the senior pair competition. Hasron Kapanga compiled this report.
The competition will be hosted by the Transnami Bowling Club at its venue in Windhoek on Saturday. In an interview with Nampa on Thursday, the Namibia Bowling Association Secretary, Anjulan Viljoen, said the Champion of Champions tournament, which was held last week Saturday, was a huge success. Viljoen added that for the coming weeks, the Namibian bowlers' schedule will be crammed with competitions, which is a good thing for the sport. She added that this weekend will see the Transnami Pairs competition. Thereafter, there will be the Windhoek League Pairs for 2 weeks to be held at all Windhoek clubs, and then on 13th and 14th November 2021, they'll host the National Closed Singles competition. Viljoen also noted that the man and lady winners of the singles will qualify for the World Champion of Champions in Australia. She also told this agency that with the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games approaching, the Namibia Bowling Association has submitted a long list of players that are eligible to represent the country.
On to football. The Namibia Premier League Board of Governors recently held a policy meeting in Mariental, where several issues were discussed and resolved by 10 founding members of the envisaged professional league.
In a media statement made available to Nampa on Thursday, the Board of Governors discussed the Constitution and several amendments within proposed. These amendments are benchmarked against other professional leagues in the world. The statement read that the Constitution is being scrutinized by legal experts to affect the amendments before adoption at the next NPL Congress. It further states that the NPL business plan outlines the activities of the NPL, which aims to be self-sufficient after 3 years and includes partnerships and sponsorships for both tiers of professional leagues to be operated. The NPL says it wants to increase the sports index percentage from 2% as prescribed by the 5th National Development Plan and the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2 in terms of professionalization of sports by 2022. The Board of Governors also adopted the Confederation of African Football Club Licensing Method, and a club licensing committee was appointed after the 10 founding member clubs of the NPL agreed to essential requirements for registration by the member clubs on 30th of November 2021, together with the NPL. The 10 founding clubs are African Stars, Black Africa, 11 Arrows, Live Fighters, Okahanja United, Tura Magic, Citizens, Young Brazilians, Blue Waters, and University of Namibia.
Your sports roundup is up next. We've come to the end of tonight in this week's bulletin. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click on the notifications bell to stay abreast with the latest happenings locally and globally. Catch us Monday next week for another edition of Primetime News. From myself, Joy Gosses, and the entire production crew, wishing you a fantastic weekend. Good night.